Yugadi is a festival that marks the beginning of New Year as per the Indian calendar. And this festival is celebrated across India by different names. Now, I don't know all the names, but if any of you know the name, any name, can you tell me? Gudi Padwa, Maharashtra, and Gujarat, I guess. Okay. Anything else? Kerala? Vishu. Okay. Any? Tamil? Okay. Wow. I succeeded in pronouncing it right. Any other name? But thank you. That was a lot of information. So thank you so much. Now this festival also displays the diversity that we have. That every state, every religion will celebrate its own culture and festival. But there is a unique thread which binds everything. We also, keeping that diversity in mind, I would request everyone to please avoid talking about gender, religion, and politics when you come on stage. We also have great diversity in our own club, for all the speakers come from different places. And to make sure that we do not disturb our speakers, I would request you to please remain seated through the meeting. But if you have to move, or if you have to enter or exit the room, then please do so when you hear the sweet sound of an applause. Thank you. There's another distracting element, the most distracting element. Can you name that? Phone. That we all carry in our pockets. So I request all of you to please put your phones on silent. Give a thumbs up once it's done. Thank you. So, as we all are set, shall we begin our meeting now?
Yes.
Thank you. The person I am going to introduce you to worked in the corporate for over 2 decades. Now, he's an entrepreneur who is teaching communication skills to college students and corporates. He is a master of words, particularly using rhymes in his speeches. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Yeah? Now to dedicate something to him, I have one of my favorite rhymes from my childhood. Thank you. So this is how it goes. Baba Black Sheep, have you any tools? Yes sir, 3 bags full. One for Toastmasters, 1 for speech crafters, and 1 for my young learners who love creams with care. So that's my dedication to him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring our hands together in welcoming the magician of words, the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, Sheeb Kumar.
Yes. Thank you for giving those 2 adjectives. One is she made me Baba. Baba, and then Black Sheep. Thank you so much for the wonderful poem. What does she deserve? Thank you so much, I call to order the meeting number 1471. And before we begin the meeting, I invite our Secretary Toastmaster Mahesh to give some glimpses from the previous meeting.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. Good evening. Meeting number 1470 held on March 21st. The theme of the meeting was Tough Times Never Last, Tough People Do. Word of the day was tenacious. The Best Speaker Award was won by Toastmaster Veeresh. The Best Evaluator was DTM Dr. Rashi. And the best role taker was Toastmaster brand Dsouza. The best table topic speaker was Toastmaster Veeresh. And the best auxiliary role taker was Toastmaster Himani Pandey. For more details, please tune into Bangalore Toastmasters YouTube channel.
You remember if there are any amendments in the minutes of the meeting? Thank you so much. I declare the minutes of the meeting 1470. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the legendary Bangalore Toastmasters Club. I request the guests who came here for the first time, please raise. Can you please stand up? First time here. Thank you so much for joining with us. We hope you'll have a wonderful time here for the next 2 hours. Dear members, how do we welcome both of them? And I request our committee members to please stand up, including our, where is Mahaveer? And for the guest, this is our VP membership Toastmaster Mahaveer. If you have any queries regarding membership, how to join Toastmasters, he will answer those queries during the break time as well as after the meeting. Thank you so much. The magic of new beginnings. They say that every great journey begins with one step, right? And some of the journeys begins with one shade. You must be thinking why. That's the case with my friend Jay. Jay always, whenever he starts with something new, he goes to Tirupati and shades off his head as an offering to God and seeking his blessings. I admire his devotion, but thankfully I don't have to do that. Because I have a lifelong subscription of Tirupati look. See, talking about the magic of new beginnings, I believe that whenever I go to the barber, I always think that why is he charging the same as others? So I thought one day I should ask him for a discount. So I asked him, why are you charging the same? Then he looked at me and smiled and said, the effort is the same. I said, how come? He said, I spent 10% to cut your hair and the remaining 9% to spend searching for your hair. So I thought, it's fair enough, right? It's fair enough. Then I thought, maybe I should take revenge on him. So next time, I tried to turn the tables. So I asked him, how much you charge for a haircut? He says, 250 rupees. How much for a shave? He said, 100. And I said, then you shave my head. But what happens is, again he charged me more. And I asked him why? Because he said, there is a problem here. It's very difficult to find where your face ends and where your head begins. So I spent a lot of time on that. So jokes apart, coming back to the magic of new beginnings, I had the opportunity to revisit the chapters of my life many times. So I think, as they say, most of the time, we can say magic of new beginnings. Because if you look at the nature itself, nature is saying us that you can always try new things. The best example is day and night. Every morning, nature is telling us, let us try it again. But new beginnings are not always magical or convenient. It's like your cat. You will never know when the cat snuggle with you, or it might knock off something off your shelf also. So I had the same experience when I moved out of my corporate job and embraced my passion, that is training and teaching. So it was not easy. From PowerPoint presentation, I moved to holding the show. From having conference calls with my clients, the students started asking, sir, you haven't marked my attendance today. However, what I realized is, when we start something, we might do well. However, there's a period in our life when people stop clapping for us. Because people know our pattern. They know how we speak, how we work, how we behave. Then they stop clapping for us. And suddenly there is a self-doubt creeping in our mind that, am I not doing well? because I used to get encouragement. My speech was good. People used to come, wow, what a good speech. Yeah. But after my third speech or fourth speech, people stopped coming. So I believe that even though I am having an incremental improvement inside me, which is not visible, but I start doubting myself. Am I not improving? That's when most of us give up. It's just like an ice cube. An ice cube at 25 degrees is just an ice cube. Even if you start heating it, it will just remain as an ice cube. But at 32 degrees, it starts melting. All the heat you've been giving the ice cube is stored. Same thing, whatever we do is inside of us, which is not visible. But it's so important for us not to stop. Because maybe some chapters of the life may not be good. That doesn't mean that the whole book is bad. So whenever you come across, or whenever we come across something, just try, keep on improving us. And if things doesn't work, you always have Tirupati. So that's what, I told my friend Jay, whenever one door closes, another door opens. Then he said, Sheeb, you should take your car to the mechanic. So, to keep the meeting alive and take us through the entire meeting, we have a person who is an expert in integrating software. Today he's not going to integrate software, he's going to integrate the meeting with his wisdom and humor. A Master of Science in Applied Electronics from the prestigious National Institute of Technology, Tiruchirappalli, Mumbai. You answered correctly? What does that mean? That means he knows, not only knows how things work, he can make it complicated also. When he's not doing programming, he's an admirer of outdoors, in the way he goes to mountains. He goes out, goes to mountains, goes to beaches, he's a mountain climber. And I think he tours the roads of India, I think not motorbike, the bicycle. So to take us to the meeting, please let me welcome the man who can not only crunch numbers, but who can conquer mountains as well as navigate curves. The Toastmaster today, Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan.
Let me give a minute for our guests and the latecomers to sit. How's everybody doing this evening?
Top of the world.
Top of the world. Wow, that's the influence. Good. So, Vanakkam, Namaste, Namaskar, and to our international participants on YouTube, Bonsoir et bienvenue. Welcome to the Toastmasters Club, Bangalore Toastmasters Club. The first thing you will get when you Google Toastmasters in and around anywhere in Bangalore. Right? Good. So we have a bright evening ahead of us. And like Sheeb said, I like to travel, I like to wander, and sometimes I also do that in my speeches. So in order to not get lost, I'm going to go with my notes. Good. So typically, I start with a story. This is the part where we have this arousing stories which are very inspiring. Let me give it a shot. I was thinking about new beginnings, the theme of the day. I was wondering, okay, who do I talk about? And then I remembered a story. A story which happened far, far ago. In a land far, far away. America. Two friends. One was technically very good at it. And the other was like me. Would only speak his mouth away. That's it. But together they made a team which was unbeatable. One created new things. One had the vision of what has to be created. One had the technology to invent. One had the technology to go beyond obstacles. And the other had the vision to get it across in a way that others could see his vision. Any clues of what I'm talking about?
Apple.
Well, I can get on the stage right now. Alright, good. It was Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs. Now, what happened? Apple was a beginning, correct? It started in a garage somewhere in 1917. We all know the Wikipedia page, you can go back and read it. But what happened a little later? Apple, which started as Steve Wozniak's and Steve Jobs' dream, went on to become so big, bigger than themselves, that the board decided that one fine evening, Steve Jobs, you've had enough of you. Out you go. At that time, this man had one objective, one singular thought: to revitalize his journey ahead. And he said, listen, Apple was one beginning, good. Even though I lost the company, what I learned from it, what I am as a person still remains with me. And with that, I will go and start something new. And that's when he decided to get on the Pixar. He bought the company for a mere $5 million, for him it was some change. And from there, he took the company to somewhere close to $750 million. Forget the $1 million, the millions of stories that these people have affected, the millions of lives that these people have affected with the stories. Anybody here remembers Toy Story?
Yes.
You say, no, I'm going to kick you out of this room. But jokes apart, brilliant story. If you have not watched it, watch Toy Story and you will fall in love with animation. Don't think animation is just for kids. Animation is for everyone. It's why I love Pixar and their animated stories is the way of storytelling that they've got. Somebody said, they asked a Pixar animationist, or they call themselves Imagineers. They asked him, what happened? Why are all these colors? And why? They said, the colors are just to attract the kids. The kids, it's only the color part. But the storytelling is for the adults. If you have seen Toy Story, if you have seen Finding Nemo, if you're a parent, you should watch Finding Nemo. If you're somebody who likes to conquer things, if you like to try out something new in a different space, watch Cars. There are so many movies that you will fall in love with. And I personally thank Steve Jobs for that new beginning that he brought in. Now, Steve Jobs was a visionary, right? Is he the only one? No. Way back in about 1924, there was another man who was a much better visionary probably, or if not better, at least on par, right? This person, this gentleman, was Dr. Ralph C. Smedley. In Santa Ana, California, one fine evening he decided, probably over a glass of bourbon or something, he decided everybody should be able to speak. Ma'am, your name? Ramya ma'am should be able to speak. Nihan should be able to speak. Everybody should be able to speak. So for that, what he did, he organized a club meeting and said, he called it Toastmasters. Everybody come, speak. That's where it all started. Now, I'm going to tell you how a typical Toastmasters meeting goes, especially for the benefit of our guests. Right? We have three parts. The first act is a planned speech, where people come with prepared speeches and then they present. The second part is the firecracker of the evening, table topics. And the third act, which wraps it all together, evaluation. And for that, we have a separate group. Now, to support the evaluation, we have something called as a tag team. Tag. Timer. T as in timer. Let me bring in Toastmaster Srinivas for that.
As a timer, it is my responsibility to track each speaker who's coming on stage and show them the clue cards. For the prepared speakers, I am showing the green card at 5 minutes and yellow card at 6 minutes and red card at 7 minutes. For the table topics, it will be 1 to 2 minutes. For 1 minute, I will be showing the green card and 1.5 yellow and red card at 2 minutes. So prepared speakers will have 30 seconds grace period. For the table topics, it will be only 15 seconds. After which I will be ringing a bell. It means it is considered as a disqualifications. And also people who are not meeting the minimum criteria till the green card, that's also being considered as a disqualifications. Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Toastmaster Nihan Jonas.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So nice to see you all. It's been so long since I've come on stage or seen any of you. Well, today's meeting is a little special. Why, you may ask? RCB versus CSK. We've ditched that match to be present in this meeting. So speakers, role takers, the stakes are higher. So more people are, waiting to watch the match. Okay? So try avoiding all the crutch words like but, and if you do, I'll be noting it down. I'll share it to you in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nihan, for reminding us of what we are missing. Anyways, so moving on, we have the Renan Martin of the evening, Toastmaster Akash as a grammarian for the evening.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
So, as the grammarian, I will have two responsibilities today. The first one is to introduce the word of the day, which is revitalize, which means to bring a new life or energy into something. An example for this would be by having some noodles and dumplings, Toastmaster Nathan revitalizes his love for China. My second responsibility would be to observe and track the good and not so good usages of the English language. I will report this at the end of the meeting when called upon by the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Akash. Alright, now that we know the screenplay, we know the actors, everything is in place. It's time for lights, camera, action. To start the first scene, we have a person with a speech. But we don't just hear the speech, right? We also have an evaluation. To give the first evaluation, I welcome somebody, an engineer by profession, associated with Toastmasters for about 4 years. And when I asked him what does he think of new beginnings, this is what he said. New beginning for him was about 32 years ago. When he started, with a leap of faith, he started his own concern and decided that it's best to work for himself rather than others. And from the looks of it, 32 years later, seems to be working good for him. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Toastmaster Jacob Eben, our first evaluator. Please give us a guidance.
Thank you for that brilliant introduction. Today, the speaker is attempting the project from presentation mastery. The purpose of this project is to write a speech with a purpose. The time duration for the speech would be 5 to 7 minutes. The speaker will deliver a well-written speech with a defined purpose. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you. Alright, now for the first hero of the evening. Our hero is a businessman, works in the field of finance. He's been a board member, returning member, and been active with us for about 4 months right now. And he believes his new beginning is from travel. Every travel that he has done has given him a new perspective, a new thought. And to elaborate more on that, with a speech titled today, The Art of Selling, Lessons from the Streets of Dublin. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mahaveer Jain.
Have you ever been stopped by a stranger in Church Street asking you, do you have a minute?
Yes.
What do? Do you stop and listen to them? Or do you just politely smile and keep walking away? Or do you pretend to look at your phone, avoiding eye contact? Now imagine on the other side, you have to sell a product to a stranger that they are not expecting. Even harder, imagine selling a product in a foreign country where the culture is different and you don't even know how to stop them and if they would listen to you. That's me. I wasn't just selling a product, I was selling an idea, a change, a belief that small changes can make a big difference. But in reality, was looking for me. People who didn't even care what I was doing, just ignored me and walked past me. Yet, my job was to stop them, engage them, and convince them to donate their hard-earned money for the purpose that I was pitching for. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, a very good evening.
Good evening.
Working in direct sales for NGOs, doing fundraising, taught me lessons that went beyond fundraising. It was a master class in human psychology, resilience, and power of persistence. Let me tell you one simple truth. Success in sales or in life isn't about luck. It's about belief, resilience, and most importantly, understanding the law of averages. My first job in Dublin was working with Dogs Trust, a charity for stray dogs. I had stopped around 70 people. I had pitched to around 30 people, and I got 0 sales. I felt very bad. Maybe I wasn't cut out for this. That's when my sales manager came up to me and said, Maha, they would call me Maha instead of Mahaveer. Maha, you're doing great. Remember the law of averages? Just focus on the process and the numbers will work for you. Well, I did not understand all this then, but I just trusted the process. Next day when I went to work, I was not focusing on getting a sale. Instead, I was focusing on connecting with people. Their love for dogs, their pets, their stories. And suddenly, the change happened. I wasn't just doing good sales, but at the end of the month, I was leading my entire team. Over the next 1 year, I worked for 4 different NGOs, Dogs Trust, UNICEF, Irish Cancer Society, and Doctors Without Borders, and helped them raise around thousands of hundreds of dollars. All of this was possible because I learned how to handle rejections. We went for a short trip to a small town in Cork, where I was leading a sales team of 10. My Irish colleague was having a very hard day. She had done around 25 presentations and she did not get any donations. She was frustrated, ready to quit. I remembered what Jamie told me. I told her the same. Amber, remember the law of averages. Just keep working and the numbers will work in your favor. While we were all just winding up, ready to leave, she kept on pitching. And then, my friends, she got her sale. And we all were very happy. She looked at me and she told, Maha, if you had not motivated me today, today would have been a 0 day for me. And working the next day after a 0 day is very hard. Not every pitch that you do is going to land. But if you stay in the game, the numbers will always work in your favor. The best thing about this was I got to have my own team. So what I observed is people don't actually buy products, they buy emotions. So when men were likely to donate when a nice girl stops him with a smile, with a charm, and get the donation, and vice versa. So while I was working for this campaign for Irish Cancer Society, we were helping raise funds for cancer patients. I stopped an Irish girl called Sarah. I was doing my pitch, I was telling her the statistics of what we were doing. Halfway through my pitch, she just stopped. Just sign me up for €100 donation monthly. I said, okay, all right. She gave me her bank details, and I signed her up. She told me, you guys are doing amazing. It's because of you, even my cancer got treated. Well, I was on top of the world. So sometimes you don't need to sell the product. Product sells naturally if the buyer is knowing what actually they're buying. After fundraising, I went on to do corporate sales for a German IT reseller called Bechtel Limited. We used to supply IT products for schools, colleges, and government institutions. Same lessons applied there. The more calls I made, the more deals I closed. Working on the streets of Dublin, I wasn't just learning how to do sales. I learned about resilience, understanding human psychology, and most important of all, the law of averages. Simply put, what law of averages says is the more attempts you have, the statistical probability of you winning is much higher. If you don't believe in the product you're selling, no one else will. Rejections are just part of the game. Enjoy it. And it's all about numbers. The more you try, the more your chances of succeeding. So the next time you feel discouraged, remember law of averages. Trust me, you will eventually have your success. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Maha, for that lovely speech. I should have known you back in my college days. I thought you've gotten better girlfriends. Got it. Now, yeah, that's my girlfriend story, but somebody has better luck than me. To evaluate the next speech, we have an software engineer from Bosch, a seasoned Toastmaster with us since 2016, and he believes starting fresh means having the lightness to let go of hatred and start fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, to read the next evaluation guidelines, please put your hands together to Toastmaster Abai Kothari.
Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Time manager, please note time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker and his practice.
Thank you. Well, to give the next speech, we have a data analyst on this. A Toastmaster for about 8 months, and he believes a new beginning is an indication that we are open to learn and accept new things. And he also believes that it's very important to have more and more new beginnings for you to stay relevant in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together with a speech focused. Toastmaster SriSakthi Shanmugam.
It was a beautiful winter morning. I just got up from my bed, went directly to the balcony to enjoy the Bangalore weather. But I was curious to check what are the updates I have from my mobile immediately. I just went, unlocked my mobile, the chain reaction started, which is about mindless activity of getting into one notification to other notification, going into multiple applications. Suddenly the wall clock struck 8 to remind me that I'm already late to the office. I just put my phone into the charger and finished my morning routine. I was heading out from my home to office. I just waved bye to my mom and my wife, who were busy in the Instagram world and WhatsApp world. I just got into the car. The first thing I did is I connected my phone to the car, went to the YouTube. I was checking for what is the right video that I can listen on my journey to office. So that day, YouTube recommended me a curious video with a title called Brain Draw. So I was very attracted with that title. So I played the video. It was for about 15 minutes. After that video, I understood brain rot is a condition where the brain starts to deteriorate from the mental and intellectual capability because of mindless activities such as Instagram reels that you watch, YouTube shorts, or any activity where you don't give any input from the brain, right? So after that, I became more mindful about what I'm doing. So in my journey to the office, I was observing people around me, from the bike rider to the person driving a car. And after I reached office, even the security guard and my co-workers, I observed everyone were involved in the mindless activities. They were always on the phone, looking up something, maybe a notification or on some applications. After that, I was curious to find how much time I'm spending on these applications. So I found out roughly around 2 to 3 hours in a day I spend on these applications. So then I was trying to see how I can fix this, because I don't want my brain to rot. So the first solution that came to my mind is, how about switching from a smartphone to a feature phone? Like going to a basic phone with a keypad and the screen. Yeah, the one that you have. But the world is already into the smartphone. So from banking to payments, or for any basic things that you have to do, you need a phone. So that option was ruled out. The second option I had is, how about splitting the phone into two? Not the physical phone. From a usage standpoint, how do I split this into applications that I need? Maybe I'll get one phone as a basic phone, primary phone, which I will use, and then the other phone for all the applications that distracts me. So I thought this is the best solution. I thought maybe I will use my current phone as a primary phone. And I configured all the basic applications and removed all the social media applications. I had a plan that, okay, after a few months, maybe I will start to buy one more phone, a basic phone, and then configure all the social media applications. So this is will be a primary phone. So that was the plan. So it started, and it went on for a few weeks, and I could see a lot of change. The first thing is, I got a lot of time. In the morning, right, I was able to even get up and then get to a quick walk and do some very basic exercise. And from the work standpoint, I was able to focus on some of the trainings which I couldn't attend earlier. One other problem with having a separate phone, the basic phone, which I call it as a NSM phone, no social media phone. So it also had some problem where even the basic applications create a lot of distractions, which keeps you away from what you are focusing on. I figured out there is a mode called focus mode, which I think we don't use it very actively. So it helps you to pause all the applications that you don't use and only keep applications which you are interested in. For example, if you have Amazon shopping app, you can pause it and you can use when you wanted to shop, instead of that giving a lot of distractions. So overall, I would say in this, the theme says, right, the magic of new beginning. So it was a new beginning for me, and it helped me to be much more productive. And also, it helped me to revitalize what I'm doing. So, there's a statistics which says, on an average, around 2 to 3 hours people spend on social media, which is about 10% of your entire time. So think about it. If you are getting distracted, you are losing 10% of the time, which you could utilize on some things which you can have some basic intent. So nowadays I don't have a lot of, I don't get updated on a lot of current trends. I don't know what is happening around the world. I became more focused on whatever I wanted to do, rather than whatever the social media or anything that wanted to keep me updated. So it so happens that I keep arguing with my wife, saying, I keep the device as no social media device. And when she looks at it, she says, no, you cannot survive in this world without social media. We keep debating about it. Sometimes, some of the news or the basic news that I used to get, it comes from her. She says, this is what is happening. I said, oh, wow, it's good. So finally, I gave up that I will not buy a new phone for social media. So I'll only keep this primary phone, and this is going to be a social media phone. So the time is limited. So I would urge everyone to move into a focused mode so that you can start to focus on what you want to achieve in life, because time is limited.
Thank you, Toastmaster SriSakthi, for analytically explaining to us the no social media. Thank you. Alright, now comes the slog ovals, right? We need to bring in more firecrackers in place. To evaluate the third speech of the evening, we have a sales professional from Zscaler, my very own mentor, a veteran in Toastmasters since 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, the next evaluator believes that new beginnings are a chance to wipe the slate clean and start afresh and have new learnings. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Toastmaster Alok Simha to read the evaluation guidelines.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pradeep. The speaker is attempting a project where the purpose of the speech would be to practice vocal variety and body language to enhance the speech. All the best to the speaker. Back to you.
Thank you. To give the next and the final prepared speech of the evening, we have a software and a data engineer, somebody who's been with Toastmasters fairly recently, about 2024 September onwards, and he believes the new beginnings means looking at life and career in renewed lights, fresh perspectives, and to bolster the new energy levels. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the speech title KP or PK, he will confirm, Toastmaster Veeresh J J.
Imagine this, December of 2017 BC, before COVID. Three rookie trekkers, Dhruva, Shankar, and Viru, set out to conquer the mighty Kumar Parvata. City boys, fresh out of exams but out of shape. They wanted to burn some fat, churn some discussions, and turn a new year in the mountains. They packed their bag with shoes and rented tent. They were all in for this, and at 6 a.m. early in the morning, after a quick temple visit, they were at the foothills of the Kumara Parvata, or KP for short. The view and the experience was breathtaking. Mist hanging in the air and songbirds singing all around, as if to welcome and cheer for them for the journey that lay ahead. They proceeded forward, and the steep slopes and the dense jungle trails was just intoxicating. But their heavy backpacks with rented tent and everything, about 20 kgs, was tiring them. Water sips and water breaks at every turn became a new ritual. As they proceeded forward, the eeriness of the jungle crept in. They felt as if something was following them. They felt as if somebody or something was lurking around. Viru, with a 6x6 vision, led the team, and the others with spectacles followed him blindly. And suddenly, out of nowhere, Viru says, "Stop!" Others froze. They froze as if they have found an anaconda ahead of them. Shankar, unable to see, asked Viru, "What happened, Viru? Yenaitu maga?" Viru says, "Leopard, leopard." They froze. A minute passed by, the leopard didn't move. Now slowly, Viru reached out for his toy binoculars and peered through it, only to discover that it was a tree stump with yellow and black patches. Laughing out loud, they marched ahead. Next stop, Buttermane, the pit stop that everybody takes in this trail. Batru, a mighty mountain man. He took care of his farm and the cattle. He fed the trekkers. These three trekkers, intrigued by his lifestyle, bombarded him with rapid round of questions. "Batre, what about your lifestyle? Batre, what about wildlife? Batre, what about your married life?" Batre didn't answer. Despite having some space to sleep there, these boys went 1 kilometer ahead at a designated place to pitch their tent. They were under the impression that pitching a tent under a starlit sky will be a thrilling activity. First timers, they fumbled, mumbled, and somehow jumbled and made it functional. The tent. Sunset was on the horizon. They started sharing some stories. Then sunset glowed, stories flowed. As night fell, the jungle awoke. With all the nocturnal species coming out to make weird noises. Owls hooting, whoop, 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 and insects screeching, chitching. It was a nightmare for them. Suddenly, thunderstorm, lightning flashed and rain splashed. And the tent, which was supposed to be waterproof, now became a mini swimming pool. Shankar suddenly started making some weird, odd noises. Dhruva, who is a horror movie fan, thought Shankar is already possessed by a forest evil. And he took his chappal in his hand and asked him, "Tell me, who are you?" Shankar slapped him. Some throat infection and fever. Stop acting like a ghost. With Shankar's fever soaring and rain pouring, they decided to abandon the tent and to go to Padmanabhan, which is a safe haven. They scrambled in the storm, held each other's hand, and again Veeru led the team. As they went, it took about half an hour just to cover 1 kilometer. Such was the treacherous journey. As they approached Padmanabhan, Veeru suddenly says or shouted, "Ame, Ame, Ame!" And he ran in some random direction, leaving them stranded. Shankar, now furious, shouted, "Ame, elephant, and you are leaving us here?" In this commotion and drama, Badru stepped out to check out. Veeru is now returning back with something in his hand. Shankar, again furious, "What are you bringing?" He says, "Ane, elephant, and you are bringing python." Veeru says, "Shh, this is tortoise, don't make noise." Ame. Badru stepped out and shushed everybody and says, "Just shut up." Veeru nervously tried to keep the Ame or tortoise down. Everybody pounces on him and starts hitting, hit him. He says, "Ane, elephant," and brings Ame, tortoise. They collapsed and laughed together. And that Veeru was me. We still cherish this adventurous, wild event that happened long year ago, a lot of time back. And it is important to step out of the routine, to take the road less traveled. And even today, when I go back home, I wander away from the usual road, just to discover new places, new people, and new opportunities. And that is how I stumbled upon this club and stayed. Thank you.
Having led many treks in the Western Ghats and Himalayas and a few to KP itself, man, thank you for that humorous expression of KP. Good. How was it?
Very nice.
Wonderful, very nice, right? Now, when the hopes are high and the josh is high, that's when you take a break. To allow everyone to mingle around, meet our new guest, and meet the veterans of here. Okay? We'll take a short 5 minutes break. Timer, please start the counter. And when the 5 minutes is up, the timer will give a bell, and that's when you get back to your seats. Until then, you're free to move on. Hope the mingling went well. Now for the speech tingling. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever been in a situation where you are seeing a stranger and suddenly want to strike a conversation, and especially if the conversation that you want to make an impact, How would you do that? Definitely not with the phone call. So to train us in that, we present what we call as the table topics. And today, there is a master to present that. We have a tax technology solutions manager at Avalara. Been a Toastmaster for more than a decade. He believes a new beginning is a chance to wipe the slate clean and start fresh. No, I'm not repeating somebody else's. This person also thinks the same thing. And does this in almost everything in his life. And he summarizes it. It's good to circle around, undo, and redo. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to the table topics master of the evening, the person we affectionately call KD, Toastmaster Karunakar.
Thank you. Today's table topics is going to unveil some of the scars of the past, which can be mysterious, which can be a bit of a suspense, which can be inspired by true events as well. Normally we allow people or we let people sit together, but if you feel that you need isolation, you can pick your places which can suit you. Can we have the lights off, please? And please pay a complete attention to the topic, because I'm not going to repeat the topic and the name of the person again. And if you scare the people, you get positive points at the time of voting. The first topic, you receive a text that says, don't turn around. You receive a text that says, don't turn around, go to Shreya.
Okay. Looking at this audience, I'm only getting scared. But, okay. I get text. First of all, why would I see a phone at this star? Okay, I'm just getting scared. Okay, let's get this started. So I get a text. Don't turn around. And all these thoughts are in my mind. What if I'm walking with my parents and there's my school teacher behind me, and I just got over with my exams, and my exams have not gone really good per se. So I'm thinking, which teacher is it? Is it a teacher who snitches? Is it the teacher who likes to play around? Is it the teacher who butters parents way too much just to get extra money? So, in spite of the text, I turn around because I am adventurous like that. I turn around and I do not get scared because it is a person whom I see every day, and it's my sister. And so ugly, I mean, I guess, why should I get scared of her? So, I don't get scared, and fortunately, or unfortunately actually, she only snitches to my parents that I got bad marks. So, if you get a text, don't turn around, take that risk and turn around.
The teacher that you mentioned, Rashi, passed away early morning today. Okay, moving on. A stranger hands you a locked briefcase and walks away. A stranger hands you a locked briefcase and walks away. Rashi.
cousin sister, myself and my brother traveling, and we were going to our uncle's place for just for some dance practice related to the wedding and things. So while we were standing at the platform, or we were just waiting for the train to arrive, and I don't know, this guy just walked past us where he gave us a briefcase, and I think he forgot to mention why he gave that to us, and he just walked away, and three of us are just looking at each other, we're like, should we or should we not? And I don't know why my sister, she just decides to go and grab the suitcase, and I'm like, no, what if your fingerprints remain on the suitcase and then you are the culprit of whatever has happened in the past? So we're still figuring out if we should look at what's happening inside or if we should not, and then my brother just decides, let's just go ahead with it, and he opens the briefcase, and we realize that there's nothing happening here, guys. I don't know what I was saying, but so this is all just a story. I mean, I don't know, it's never happened to me, so maybe if it happens, I will come back and tell you all that story, but I don't think my life has been this adventurous to give out such beautiful stories.
A voice on the radio says your name right before the power goes out. A voice on the radio says your name right before the power goes off. Prakarsh. A voice on the radio says your name right before the power goes off.
Good night, Toastmasters and guests. So it was the last radio session, and I was listening to Radio Mirchi 98.3 FM, and suddenly the RJ calls my name, and the show ends. I keep on thinking during the whole night, maybe I should text or email or do something so that I can ask a favor and get popular on the Radio Mirchi platform, because it's not so often that your name is called. But I did not know that it was not my name, but she was saying Prakarsh, and she was just throwing some light on something, and I could not understand it. So I don't think there is any thing which I could fear about, but yeah, it was nice to listen to my name for some time and think about it, but later realized that okay, it was not my name, it was something related to light. Over to you.
It was your name, Prakarsh. You check your security camera footage. You check your security camera footage and see yourself standing outside, staring in. You check your security camera footage and see yourself standing out, staring in. Himani.
So, one night, when it was raining heavily in Bangalore, usually, I lived in Indranagar a few years back, and there was a cat that used to cry outside my window, and it would be very, very scary in the night sometimes. And this reminds me of that. And one day, one such night again, I saw that in the camera footage, and there were cameras outside my house because I used to live alone there, and the landlord lived upstairs. And you know how the security scene is in places where you have independent houses, in places like that. So in the camera footage, suddenly, and I was not able to sleep. I was very unable to sleep, and then in the security camera footage, I see my own mirror image, and I was really, really scared because already the cat had scared the hell out of me, and then my own mirror image, and suddenly switched on the lights everywhere. I called up my landlord, and they came down and realized there was nothing there.
I told you the topics are inspired by true events. A child on the street whispers, "You are not supposed to be here." A child on the street whispers, "You are not supposed to be here." Anirudh.
It's a cold wintry evening as we're walking down the street, thinking to myself, I really have to be home at this time. It's already 10:45 at night. Here I am, walking down a cold wintry street wearing my jacket. As I'm walking down, constant thoughts in my mind. Is everything okay at home? Is the heater working at home? Do my parents have dinner? Did my wife get back from work on time today? It seems like a very, very cold day to be outside. And as I keep walking, the way your mind works is, whatever you think, is that it's exactly what you attract. And my thoughts start to spiral out of control. I'm thinking about, oh, what if my mom was heating some tea and spilled some on herself? Oh, what if someone lit the geyser and the geyser exploded? Oh, what if there's no electricity at home today? And constantly, thought after thought after thought, and I'm going down that negative spiral with fear, with anxiety. And then as I pick up my phone, trying to panic and trying to call my family, my phone falls down. And it falls in a small gutter. Cold. So I'm searching for it desperately, panicking, trying to book a damn Ola, and not able to. All of a sudden, a kid comes close to me, looks me square in the eyes, and says, "You shouldn't be here." That's it. I flip. I'm like, oh my God, I really need to get out of here. Somehow, I find my phone, I book my cab, I get back home, I ring the bell, and then all of a sudden, I can feel a bright flashing light on my face, and I realize I just woke up. It's a bad dream. Thank you.
Your reflection in the mirror moves, but you don't. Your reflection in the mirror moves, but you don't. Why, Vijay?
First thing I'm wondering, who on earth is the manufacturer of this stupid mirror? Step Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, we respect that Prime Minister Modi is saying make in India, manufacture in India, export to the world. Fantastic. But you need quality stuff. So first, my first prayer to all of you is, please, let's manufacture in India, but please manufacture good stuff. Second thing, the person standing in front of the mirror, Toastmaster KD said it's me. I have no such hallucinations. When I move, even my image moves. So friends, this is another thing where, unlike in the US, in India, psychologists, psychiatrists, psychotherapists, they don't have work. So when you have such hallucinations, please report it to a psychologist. Like in the US, they bill you by the minute. In India, they're twiddling their thumbs. So any such, please do that. Third possibilities. You've done something wrong at home, Brian. Some mistake you've made. Perhaps your mom has caught you. So you're flashing some lights, all the lights turned off over here. You have some lights where only the image moves. And you come late in the night and you're able to convince your mom. These are the effects, the plus points of having such lousy mirrors. So friends, all I want to tell you, these topics might scare you, but don't take the tabletop master seriously. These topics only happen in Bangalore Toastmasters Club and when KD is the tabletop master. Don't get scared. In life is beautiful. You move, image moves. I take my words back. India manufactures wonderful mirrors. And psychologists have work for genuine people. I said all of this just to prove that the tabletop master is wrong. Back to KD.
Don't believe in whatever you heard just now. It's only his image, not him. Your Uber driver says, we have arrived, but you never told them your destination. Your Uber driver says, we have arrived, but you never told them your destination. Toastmaster Vijay.
Toastmaster, distinguished guests. There's a story which all of those know, maybe. Three drunkards, they hired a Uber, and the driver, he just took a round, smaller round, and stood where the journey was started, and this man rewarded him with the money. But second person, you don't know the way. You took us so long, that's why I did not give you money. The third person slapped him and told him, why you came so fast? Yes, it's the thing which happens if one doesn't know his own way. Over to tabletop master. Thank you.
You turn off your bedroom light and you hear someone whisper, thank you. You turn off your bedroom light and you hear someone whisper, thank you. Brian, Dsouza.
It was the time when I was born. Parents in Chikmagalur. Sister, friend's house. Me and my dog. There's no sambar at home. What shall I eat? Worried. I hit the bed early. I try to sleep, but there are mosquitoes singing near my ear. Milo comes to me. And she's bored, sleeps right beside me. After a minute or so, I close my eyes just to see Milo suddenly look at something in the window. That's not a good sign. I'm home alone, and Milo suddenly looking out the window. The electricity goes off. We live in a poor family, no UPS. I sleep again. Milo sleeps again. My legs shiver. What should I do now? There's no sambar at home. There's no electricity at home. Milo is suddenly acting weird. Looking out the window. The curtains are shut. Only a patch of light entering the room through the
distance between the curtain. What should I do? And then the person, the voice outside that whispers, thank you. Turns out, the building beside my house, they're having a party. And there is what situation occurs. In the basement, they're having a party and that person just said thank you. Thank you.
This is 100% real story. You see an old woman on the bus staring at you. You see an old woman on the bus staring at you. But when she gets off, she tells you, I remember you from the last time. I remember you from the last time. Teach after Ramya. Come on, the name I can follow. You see an old woman on the bus staring at you, and when she gets off, she tells you, Ramya, I remember you from the last time.
This is really scared. First time I'm called in front of so many people. Really. My grandmother only always could know me from the beginning. So, anyway, I'm letting go of my fear, seeing all the people. So thank you for the chance. Being my grandmother or anyone, so I got this chance to speak in front of you.
You receive an email from yourself dated 5 years in the future. You receive an email from yourself 5 years ahead in the future. Kenneth, why? Come on, Kenneth. Kenneth. Give it to Anybody else who wants to volunteer this topic? In the audience here. Anybody who wants to volunteer? Oh, we have somebody. Put your hands up for Mark. You receive an email from yourself dated 5 years in the future. Your name? Sanjeevani. Go on, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Today, as you all know, it's my very first day. So, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to try. So, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity in the first place. And getting to the story. So, I receive an email from myself 5 years from the future. And what do I say in that? I'm telling myself that today is your funeral. Today is your funeral and you have achieved what you wanted to achieve. Today is the day when you have done what you always dreamt of doing. And that is how you have landed in a place where you have your funeral. So good, I'm proud of you. That's what's stated. And for some reason, I read this email in the morning at 4:45 when I wake up. That's my everyday, and that's when I wake up, check my phone, and I read this email. And I tell myself, okay, this is the right direction. Possibly this is the right direction that I'm going in. And I wake up, do everything that I want to do, and at the end of the day, I just surrender it all, and I tell myself, okay, if it has to happen, it happens this way. And in the next 3 years, I join the Air Force as a flying officer, and in the next 2 years, I'm in a rescue mission. I'm able to rescue an entire troop from the people who are coming out from a hostage that has been held. And that's when I realized that this dream of mine came through. And that message of mine was a manifestation of my head. And that brought me through it with every 4:45 in the morning. Thank you.
The last topic of the evening, but 100% true incident. You hear a knock on your window on a rainy night. You hear a knock on your window on a rainy night on your 20th floor house. Chaitra.
Funny enough, this actually happened to me, but not during the night, during the daytime. My house is on the 9th floor, not the 20th. But I was sitting there peacefully, reading, and in the middle, I looked up, and I heard a funny sound somewhere, right? And slowly on the side, I see what looks like a snake moving around. Turns out it wasn't a snake. It was a monkey's tail. So, yes, I'm terrified of monkeys because they combine both viciousness and brains to some extent. So I find them kind of, dangerous when you compare them to other animals in the animal kingdom. And I really screamed. It's not very often that I scream, and my parents were shocked. They came running, and finally we somehow made enough noise to chase the monkey away. So yes, it was raining that day, and somehow this weird noise on the window makes me look up, see a monkey, and I don't know what happened to me, but I just reacted and made enough noise to scare it away. Back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, most of the stories were true and happened before 22nd of February 1878. Because that following day, a hero was born who gave you the Toastmasters today. Put your hands up for him, everybody. Thank you so much.
Well. I was wondering, was it a happy Ugadi special or a happy Halloween special? Thank you for that wonderful table topic session, Toastmaster Karunakar, or should I say Alfred Hitchcock. Good. Hope all of you enjoyed it? Well, that closes Act 2. Act 1 was the prepared speeches, Act 2 was table topics. What is Act 3? Evaluation or review. And if you're all thinking, if you're also evaluating something else, you're probably wondering what is the score right now. And it's 45 for 1 RCB at the loss of soil. Okay? Now, to evaluate the evening, we have a veteran. One was probably one of the founding members of the club, very close to that. An ex-president, somebody who's been with Bangalore Toastmasters since 1997, a chartered accountant by profession, and he believes every turn and twist has a new beginning, irrespective of the direction. That's the thought that gives him that every opportunity is a positive side. Ladies and gentlemen, to bring the evaluation of this evening, put your hands together to our affectionate man from China, Toastmaster Nitin.
Good evening, Toastmasters and friends. Good evening. And yes, this club seems to like China very much. I noticed Akash mentioning and Toastmaster Vijay also mentioning about it. Well, connecting to the theme of new beginning, just to give a background, when I got posted to China, an accountant getting posted to China, a country where you can't read, you can't understand the language, and the total facial is so different from we Indians. But for me, it was a new beginning. It was so magical. At that time, I didn't knew about it. A lot of people ran away from the posting, but I had no opportunity because I was forced to go. But today, when I look at it, it was a magical new beginning. It revitalized me altogether. That's why I keep telling all my friends and the Toastmasters, when a change happens, look for goodness in it. Don't see it's something bad. Nothing bad happens in life. It always happens for good. Even when Veeresh went for that, Kumar trekking, so many things happen. It's so scary, but it happens for good. So look for good things in every turn and twist of your life. With that, I must congratulate the team for giving this nice theme for today's meeting. I'm very happy about it. And the meeting started at what time we came to the President. You welcome the President very well. It's not an easy job to welcome the President every week because you need to keep giving a different aspect of the President. But you did it so well. It was so new to us. Though I have been seeing the videos, it's always different from one interaction to another. Well done, Amrith. Give her a big round of applause. And the President then, of course, Secretary gave a highlight of the meeting. That was well done. Very vociferously and very with a good body language. Well done to the Secretary. When the President called, he came and gave the minutes. That was well done. Give a big round of applause to the Secretary. Now, President came and Sheeb. I am seeing Sheeb for the first time in person, though I have watched videos as a President. I have seen this. Welcome the two people. You all left out. You all got left out, especially the guests. So please ensure, as a President, every word of you counts, especially for the guests when they come. They need to be welcomed with a warm heart. And of course, it's difficult because every speaker, even the President, is little afraid, despite Karunakar not being there at that point in time. But we need to look at that part of it. But good speech, I like your speech, and a good message to the members. Give a big round of applause. Then came Pradeep. We'll talk about Pradeep later after all the evaluations are done. The first speaker was Toastmaster Mahaveer Jain. He is evaluated by Toastmaster Jacob. Can you please come out and give your evaluation?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. The speaker, Toastmaster Mahesh, gave us a fantastic speech titled "The Art of Selling: Lessons from the Streets of Dublin." The hook line of this particular speech was, "You have a minute." A very important question for a salesman. Having caught our interest with this hook line, "You have a minute," he got us into the aspect of selling a product in a foreign country. I focus on the points which went really well, which grabbed my attention, and they are the gestures you have used, the vocal variety, the tone of voice, and the use of dialogue and the stage as it is. What could be improved, I felt, was you should introduce a few pauses in your speech, because the pace of delivery was exceedingly fast. It is my opinion. You could have introduced a few pauses in your speech to allow the audience to sink every meaning of your speech. By sinking it, I mean connecting with the audience so they can understand the message. Of course, the message was very clear. It is the more you invest, the more time you invest on the streets, on your particular the work you do, the time you invest in the profession you do, which eventually pays off as results. In conclusion, I would say the message came across very clearly of the law of averages. The averages going up in your favor the more time you invest in your profession. What I would say in conclusion is that, which could incorporate in your next speech, don't give away the content, the title of your speech. Don't give away the content in the title of your speech. Keep your audience guessing as to what you're going to speak about. I would say you should shorten the title of your speech, maybe law of averages, and then allow the audience to understand what your speech is about. When half the fun, I believe half the interest in the audience goes away, when they see the title and they say or think to themselves, aha, I know what you're going to talk about. So it's truly an excellent speech, and I'm looking forward to your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jago. And Toastmaster Mahaveer. You know what I like on the speech, apart from what Jacob was mentioning, was you started the question, right? How many of you have come across strangers in the church state? That was such a good question. And it was a question which was also risky. But fortunately, since we know Bangalore, you have seen Bangalore, you knew the answer. That a lot of guys raise their hands. That is well done. And that is what raises the curiosity. Though, as Jacob was mentioning, we have given up a little bit in the title itself, but still the curiosity got up. That is well done. And contribution was fantastic. Keep doing good work. All the best to you. The next speech was from Toastmaster Shakti Shanmugam. He is being evaluated by Toastmaster Padmanabhan. Please come over here.
On one beautiful morning, I picked up my phone and started to read. How relatable is that? Good evening, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and Toastmasters. I thought that was a very revitalizing speech on a subject that is very relatable to everyone in the audience. And I want to thank you for picking that subject as well. Because what I really loved about your speech was your conversational style of speaking. You simply came on and began with your own personal story. The next thing that I really liked about your speech was you didn't spin any elaborate theory about why you need to focus. We all know that. And you also understood that point and delved right into your story. So that was really well done, and I think that made your speech very relatable and very deeply connected with the audience. And you also jumped into explaining the problem really quickly in a very clear fashion, and then you also jumped into explaining the solution. And in this way, I thought that your speech was very well organized and had a nice
general purpose, which is to inform, inspire, or rather inform and persuade. And the specific purpose is to speak about the ill effects of smartphone usage without mindless scrolling. Now there is an age-old battle about phones, especially there are two camps, Android and iOS. And I thought that when you spoke about focus mode, you would have thought about the audience a little bit and also given us a little bit of a clue on where to find this more on an Android device and perhaps on an iOS device. Maybe you could look into that. And as soon as your speech began, I noticed that your hands were just here. They were really clasped. You might want to look at the video, and your stance also was a little just like. So you might want to look into the video and pay a little bit of attention and challenge yourself with a little bit of body language. And somewhere at the end of your speech, you had a conversation with your wife, and where she was asking you to, how will you go on without social media, and you were really on the opposite end. So while introducing your story, you immediately went to circumstance, which is a beautiful Saturday morning. You could have added that character over there, and that could have made the story a little bit interesting. So all in all, I thought that was a really wonderful speech. Just give the audience some specific information, focus a little bit on your body language, and use the 4 C's of storytelling. With that, I think you will do really, really fantastically well, and all the best for your future speeches. Back to you.
Thank you, Abhay. And this show of nervousness with the hands clasped and in the pocket is a problem which most of us encounter. It's not only for the new speaker. The solution lies in how to overcome it. I think one of the most practical things is to practice in front of a mirror with a focus that you will not clasp your hand. Because first you need to look at the video of your speech, and if you notice yourself that clasping hands is little more than what was required, you need to practice. Because if that becomes a habit, it's difficult to get rid of it. So this is the place where you need to practice and get a feedback and ensure that that nervousness is not evident. So with that suggestion, let's go to the next speaker who was speaking on Kumar Toastmaster Veeresh. He is evaluated by Toastmaster Alok Sima. Please come over.
There is this age-old rule about delivering a speech where we say 7% of the effect of the speech is dependent on words, there is 35% dependent on speaking or vocal variety, and 55% is the non-verbals, which is the body language. So this project today was focused more on body language and vocal variety. That was the main purpose of the speech, and let's see how our target speaker went about it. Now the speech is about a story, and the speech was a story basically, and that itself blends well to body language. So whenever you have a speech on body language and vocal variety, make sure it's a story, make sure it's a personal story so that you can relate to it and emphasize on body language and vocal variety. So on that thought, congratulations Veeresh. It was a good personal experience that you've chosen to highlight the importance of body language and vocal variety. Good choice there. Now let's see how he went about body language. Now in my opinion, the eye contact was excellent. He was looking at all parts of the audience. There was a decent use of the stage, which was better in the second half of the speech, I felt, when I felt he lost his inhibitions and started moving around the stage a little better. And the gestures were decent. Now the beauty about gestures is that if you're overdoing it, or if they are not in conjunction with your personality, it tends to show on stage. Today it didn't feel like that. He seemed to be extremely comfortable in his skin when he was using his gestures to bring the speech to life. And he also lost his inhibitions, started running on stage even at some point. And even then, it didn't seem off. It seemed perfectly in sync. So, on that front, I felt you did a really good job, Veeresh. Which means now we can segue into the
vocal variety side of it, where I felt the pace was decent and the pauses were apt. Everywhere where he used humor, he let it rest for a moment so that we could absorb the humor, laugh at it, and then continue with the speech. So that was well done. And there were also good attempts at voice modulation, and frankly, that is where I would say the improvements that we would do with the speech. I felt the tone became slightly predictable during the course of the speech, and also the pitch could have had more variety. So even when there was a little bit of a suspense or there was some fear, his voice was calm and composed, which was a little bit of a disconnect for me. Now my suggestion, Veeresh, here is that imagine that you're not present here and we are just listening to your voice. So how would you emote all that was there in the speech through your voice? That is how you could improve on aspects of tone and pitch. So that is my suggestion. And yes, that's where I would say the tension, there was certain tension in the speech when you're talking about, say, the tent filling up, or you spotting a cheetah, or saying Aane instead of Aame, or vice versa. There you could have built in a lot more fear if you had used your vocal variety. Now I quickly have to wind this up. So there are just a couple of things that I want your audience and you to ponder about your content. There were a lot of one-liners. So would you replace those one-liners with more structure? That is one. And second, your attire. While it suited the content of the speech, but it has suited the decorum of the outline. So with that, I really failed to accomplish the criteria of the speech, and good luck to your next speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alok, for that wonderful evaluation. And adding to what Toastmaster Alok was mentioning, one thing, even at the cost of repetition, I should mention, is the humor which Veeresh brought in. You know, when somebody brings in a humor in a speech, I get thoroughly impressed. Because it's not an easy task to make people laugh. And Veeresh got the audience in his grip after a few sentences. He knew the audience were going in his flow, and every sentence he talked, audience were waiting to laugh. That was very well done. And he was, most of the time, if you notice, he was not laughing himself. He was not, only except one point, you can look at the audience. That's an excellent way of giving a speech. We all need to learn from Veeresh. Keep doing that. All the best. Next, we had a break, and then Toastmaster Karunakar came out with a wide range of topics, connected with horror, different topics. To add to the the atmosphere, the feel of the atmosphere, he asked us somebody to switch off the light. Very well done. It was a new thing. I had not seen it happening in the club. Probably you had seen some horror movie and came. But I had not expected that, but it was tough for the members as well as the guests. But Sanjeevani spoke very well. I should applaud her for that. And the best part is, you asked, initially the lights were on the other side, then that was off. So the speaker does not get scared of talking in a scary topic. Was that the intention? I don't know. But well done, Karunakar. It gives us an opportunity to think on the spot and give a speech. I think the topic on somebody saying hello, good night, sounds scary, and you don't know what to speak. So, well done. And the only thing I noticed, Karunakar, as a rule in Bangalore Toastmasters Club, what do we do? When the next speaker, when the speaker leaves, the Toastmaster or the table talk has to give a handshake. It applies to both the parties. The guy or the girl who's speaking and moving, and the person on the stage conducting. Most of the time, I noticed Karunakar was not giving a handshake. Were you scared? But jokes apart, we need to follow that as a decorum. We need to ensure that the person is received well and also given a round. But well done, give coming to Toastmaster today, Pradeep, I'm told, was speaking second time as a Toastmaster, and for the novice Toastmaster in Bangalore Toastmasters Club, I must admit it was a great show. He was dressed to kill, and the way he paused, because when he took over, he came on the stage, there were people who were moving, and there were guests moving. I don't know, there's nobody control there, but they were moving, and he paused and addressed, saying that, let the guests come and serve. That was fantastic, that was very well done. You altered the situation, the need of the situation, very well done. And then you had a clear voice. I mean, I may not go into the body language, it's all act, very well done. The only suggestion I would give, I could not find, so I do a little bit of a nitpicking. For when you call an evaluator, if the speakers are speaking in the same guideline, same project, the second speaker was speaking on the same guideline as the first speaker, you did not ask the evaluator to read the guidelines of the speech because he is taking over your time. So you can say mention and then be done with that. That is, we can look at it. Otherwise, I have no other solutions to give. Very well done. Give a big round of applause. I welcome my tag team now. Timer Srinivasan, can you come and give a report, please? Srinivasan.
All the speakers, as you see, they stick down to their timeline, and all the tabletop people, all the tabletop masters who's coming on stage are fitted within the timeline, except the Toastmaster Richards, slightly 5 seconds below the event timeline. And all the evaluators are within the timeline. Over to you.
Thank you, Srinivas. I request our counter Neha to come and give us.
Hello everyone. My report's what you've been all waiting for, right? No, 10 minutes. That's all I'll take. I mean, it's all that is for you to go back to watching the match. Now, there was a couple of people who did not use any of the curse words. Toastmaster Pradeep, Toastmaster Karunakar, Toastmaster Anirudh, Toastmaster Vijay. No curse words, no nothing. Now, for example, I want to give a small tip to all the evaluators. When you're about to point out something or make a suggestion to the speaker, you always use a clutch word. Why? I mean, Toastmaster Alok, Jacob, Abhay, all three. Do you think that the speaker is going to strangle you? Are you scared? Free. It's fine. You're telling that you're pointing out a mistake. Every time you pointed out a mistake, you all use clutch words. That was common throughout all three of you. And that was all I had to say. Thank you.
Now, Toastmaster Akash will give his report on the night.
Good evening once again. Good evening. The good usages of grammar included unique thread binding everything, magician of words, incremental improvement, leap of faith, masterclass of human psychology, power, persistence, trust the process, people by emotions, not products, bolster your new energy levels, burn fat and churn discussions, fumble, mumble and jumble, lightning, flash and rain lash, fever soul, riding your thumbs and best to kill. The lots of good usages included nature is saying us what nature is telling us, keep on improving us, keep on improving ourselves, training I couldn't attain, training I couldn't attain, long year ago would be long time back, I did not knew it today, I did not know it, everywhere we use humor would be, we use humor everywhere, different topics were just being different topics. The word of the day was used by Toastmaster Pradeep, Toastmaster SriSakthi, Toastmaster Sheeb, Toastmaster Nitin, and Toastmaster Rashi. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash. Dear members, the voting lines are open. You can just go to PDMC group and click on the link given by Toastmaster Amrith and please cast your vote. So given in the next.
Password?
Password is 2832. You can also rate the meeting at the end. I hope all of you have done the voting now. I should thank the committee for giving me the opportunity of being the general elevator today. It was a wonderful meeting overall. Had a good time. I hope you all had a good time too. And I'm happy that one of the first time guests here, right? Anjali, she spoke. We need people like you in the club who can come and, it's not easy to come and give a speech. With that note, I hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pradeep.
Ladies and gentlemen, give a big hand to Toastmaster Anand. Thank you, sir, for the holistic feedback. I hope all of you enjoyed the evening. I hope you had a good learning session. And this is just the beginning. Back in the day when Thomas Alva Edison had a huge fire in his factory, in his research lab. Everything that he was working on was burning. It was all up in flames. He basically called his son and said, "Go bring your mother and everybody else you can find. They will never get to see this kind of a flame." The son quietly asked, "Dad, why are you saying this?" He said, "Son, all my failures until now is burning here. This is the best chance I can get to start fresh. May this be the beginning of a lot of new beginnings for you." Ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. I hand over to the President of the
I would like to take a feedback from one of our guests, Mrs. Jain. How do you feel about the meeting?
It was actually very good. This night, we coming here first time, so actually I don't know what to speak right now, so I was well and hoping to come next week as well. We'll see. So it's gonna go. It was nice session.
Thank you so much. How was your first what was your feeling for the first time?
First of all, thank you so much for appreciating my presence. I don't know how I spoke, I really have no idea. But thank you so much again. And really, the general evaluation and everyone's personal evaluation also for the speeches, they were really valuable. So, me taking just one session, I was also able to pick up on a few things that even I could improve. Like, I did make a few mistakes myself. I wasn't giving him enough eye contact throughout the entire audience. And I have this thing of saying in the middle of all of my sentences. So that's again something that I could change. So there are a lot of things that I could learn. This one session.
Thank you so much. And a lot of efforts goes behind arranging a meeting. I think our presentation had a lot of challenges. Despite of that, we had a fabulous show. And in such a fabulous meeting, give a round of applause for our vice president. It's time for the awards. The best auxiliary role award goes to our grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Akash. The best role taker award goes to the person who dressed to kill for the day, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan. best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Alok Sinha. Best able to speaker award goes to Toastmaster Vijay Anand. With that, I think she writes, the renewal was still open. Many of our members have renewed. Those who are planning to renew, please renew in the maybe next 1 or 2 days. And the best speaker award goes to the person who took us to the Kumar Palgota, Toastmaster Veeresh J J. I request all the winners to join us back on the stage. We are concluding the first speech off by this Sunday, that is done tomorrow. And the second speech off will be starting on April 27, that is second batch of speech talkers. So if you have anyone to refer, please let us know about that. And the snacks are ready. I request all the guests to enjoy the snacks, and as well as there will be a small session by our deputy membership Toastmaster Mahaveer outside the hall regarding the Toastmasters. Thank you so much for joining with us. With this, I close the meeting 1471. Good night.